pale and dark clothing. Someone needs to go outside. Hey, it's me. Today, I'm gonna be painting on shoes.
I put them on.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. This was super highly requested. Everyone wanted me to do this. No, I wanted this. Just me. I painted a jacket, now shoes. Soon I'll be able to fully clothe myself in my own artwork. That would be a cool video if I painted an entire outfit. So many ideas, one step at a time. Shoes are just kind of a classic item to customize, so honestly it kind of feels wrong that I haven't done this yet. So I bought these Vans. They're not Vans. They're some kind of cheap knockoff. I should have gotten real Vans. But as usual, I have zero confidence that I'm not gonna completely mess this up, so I buy knockoffs. Let's paint some shoes.
Here they are. They're pretty standard white canvas shoes. Fashion. Just fashion. I don't know why I pronounced it like that. What the heck? I can read. These are in a sturdy size 8 because that's what size my big feet are. I took tap lessons for 8 years. This is what's come of it. For the design, I knew I wanted to do something where the shoes are different from each other, but of course, still go together. That could be anything. Patterns
like
that
the same
go
exact
together,
design,
look
just
cool
in different
together.
colors.
I'm a little lost. So clearly, there's only one thing to do. I've collected all the squishy pears that I've ever made, and I'm gonna choose one of these as my inspiration. I know better than to show all of these options on camera because
With every elimination, I'm disappointing more and more people.
sorry if you wanted these, I'm not doing these. I settled on Eustace and Shelley, which are fairly new designs of mine, and I just felt like they would work well for what I have in mind. Now that I have my idea, I'm going to prepare my shoes. This is vinyl tape by the brand Angelus. They sent me a whole box of supplies, maybe you saw on my Instagram. There it is, there's the tape. I totally would have just used regular masking tape, which I'm sure would have worked okay, but this stuff is super nice for this purpose because it has a very strong adhesive. Much sticky. So it holds on to the shoe really nicely, and it's also pretty stretchy, so it makes it easier to form the tape around the curves of the shoe. Time to state the obvious. I'm taping off the sole of the shoe because I don't want to get paint on it, so this is what we do to keep that from happening. Okay. Now these little stretchy areas I also want to keep clean because I don't think that painting over that would work out too well. I has a sharp thing. Of course I didn't have to tape all of this up. I mean, I could just choose to avoid these areas and be careful while I'm painting, but due to my unrelenting clumsiness, yeah, I think this is the best option for me. Moving on to the other shoe. So it's not the cleanest tape job ever, but it's done. Again, I'm gonna be using Angelus. I really hope that's the way to say it. What else could it be? Angelus? No. It's leather paint. I mixed this stuff up about a month ago. Still looks pretty fresh in there. Oh, don't dump it out. Starting with one shoe at a time. Eustace first.
Whatever happened to ladies first?
I need to cook up a nice Eustace color. This'll work as my starting point.
Fingers down my spine.
Is that Eustace? No, it's not.
Girl, you look mighty fine.
How about that? Yeah, that'll work.
Girl, you look mighty fine.
Now we're ready to paint Eustace. Oh, never mind. I gotta do the background first. You idiot. I actually have to start with pink instead. I definitely don't regret my decision to tape up those edges because this would be very problematic without it. One thing I did notice about this paint, it darkens quite a bit when it's on the fabric. This was looking a little bit too dark for me, so I lightened up the paint. Ooh, look at that trick. Oh, one more time. So we have a base color. I'm using a white gel pen to sketch out my design, which happens to be a lovely portrait of Eustace. I did slightly change the shape and proportions of him just a little bit to get him to just fill that space exactly the way I wanted it to. He's in a new form. He's Shoestace. Oh man, I am a big fan of this paint. I've used it a handful of times now. Go to my Instagram to see stuff that I've painted outside of what I do in my videos. That's the second plug for my Instagram now. Nice. I really like how smoothly it goes on. It's easy to work with. It's unfortunately pretty expensive, which isn't so nice. For me, it's worth it because I paint stuff like this all the time, but for things like shoes,
It's a shoe into work.
I'm sorry, my puns are bad. Let's face it. So I'm just painting in his little face. Uh-oh, looks like I'm allergic to Eustace. What'd you think I was gonna say? Here I go working on the shading, which is my favorite part, adding all the details, making the whole thing come alive. I'm hoping that you're not too mad at me if I didn't pick the squishy couple that you wanted me to pick. Just out of curiosity, I'll put a poll up and let me know which one you would have picked. For the trim around the shoe, I decided to paint it tan to match the cone color. I don't know, I think I could have just made it pink or brown and, you know, kind of reduce the crazy factor, but I made the choices that I made. For the back of the shoe, I decided to paint dripping mint ice cream, and you know, that kind of brings the design together. It almost looks like if you had filled up the shoe with ice cream and then stepped into it. The ice cream just kind of oozes out over the top. It's cool. I decided to add some crisscross lines to make it more apparent that I'm trying to like match the cone. The tape, although very useful, was minorly distracting for me because I can't see what it actually looks like without these big blocks of red everywhere. I just can't work with this. It's fine. It is the tape that's making it ugly, right?
I'm gonna go with that.
I will say, if you do get this paint, try to get the big bottles if you can. The little bottles have this like built-in brush. It's annoying. Let's ignore this single chocolate chip because I have to do the shading first. So I realized about halfway through this process that this was actually not the first time I've painted on shoes. I almost forgot. I did this already about 2 years ago. I must have blocked this out. Here is the finished product. Super unique. Super unique. It's polka dots. But yeah, this will be my second pair of painted shoes technically. Whatever happened to those shoes, you may wonder? Well, they're right here. Wait, another magic trick. Amazing. What do you think? You like it? Before I finish it off completely, I want to get the other foot up to speed. The other shoe, I mean. This is not a foot. So this one is of course going to be the Shelly shoe, which means we're going to flip the colors and Eustace Brown goes on the toe. Spread a little Eustace on there. This is what happens when you leave your paintbrushes sitting in water for hours. Days! Instead of throwing this away like a normal person, I did that.
This tape is multi-purpose.
So anyway, then I'm bringing the pink in and using that for the back of the shoe, so it's like the flip-flop of the other one.
Flip-flop.
I thought they were slip-ons.
You may notice that these are those same original darker versions of the colors that I used initially on the other shoe. Do you remember that? Yeah. Deja vu. So here I am lightening the colors. I'm showing you the shoes one at a time, but in reality, I was actually painting these simultaneously. So that's why okay, it's not important. You can see how the lighter versions of the colors makes a pretty significant difference in the overall look. I just contaminated the yellow.
Shelly and Eustace merch is a thing.
Here we go with the sketching. The white gel pen works great for this because it goes on easy, it's easy to see, it's easy to paint over. Keyword easy. Notice how clean this palette is. Normally, my palettes are just a mess and
Boy, I've had enough.
I threw all my palettes into the sink, filled it up with hot water and dish soap, left them in there to soak for several hours, and all the paint magically disappears. No, it actually does come off really easily. It just kind of slides off the palette. Also makes me feel really guilty for wasting all of this. Back to what I was doing. This one was a little bit more tedious because I was going over a darker color with lighter colors, but this process overall was really fun to do. I have no shoes that look anything close to this, so it's a little out there, I get that, but I really like them. I like them a lot. I never even wore those polka dot shoes. Not once, which is kind of sad. bad, because like what were they doing that whole time? Nothing. I cannot let the same thing happen to these. Here's my game plan. I think if I just wear a really like toned down outfit, I may be able to pull these off and not look like I'm insane. Or I could just embrace looking insane. There's that option too. I mean, I did get these to wear, which is why I bought them in my size 8. Supposedly 8 is the average shoe size for women in the United States. I feel like that's not true. I feel like everyone else is
Size 6.5.
and then there's me.
Bigfoot.
I'm not even tall. Maybe I have proportionately bigger feet. I don't actually care though. So I'm adding some sprinkles to Shelly now, but I was missing one color, this light mauve. So let me cook that up. Here's my recipe.
Neon purple, dark purple, yellow, and 1 egg.
Ooh, that is not right. Disregard that recipe. There we go. I could honestly come up with ideas for like 100 pairs of shoes.
So many ideas.
There are so many possibilities.
I could paint shoes forever.
Wait, what's happening? I'm giving my paintbrush a haircut. I think it's taken me so long to get around to painting a second pair of shoes because honestly, I remember not being too much of a fan of it the first time because I hate doing the same design multiple times. I say that as I'm literally copying one of my old designs. What I mean is the thought of decorating one shoe and then having to repeat that same design completely over again, identically, on the other shoe makes me want to die. But as soon as I realized, wait a minute, they don't have to be the same. I wear different color sleeves, I wear different color shoes. So now I really like this idea because I really love having two things that are uniquely different but go together. It's just very visually satisfying for me. I added stripes on the seam for this shoe because Shelly doesn't have an ice cream cone on her head, she has a cupcake on her head, but the stripes kind of make it look like a weird tan snake. So here they are together for the first time. Ooh! I'm gonna add my signature to the little space on the top. It's like my branding, and they are both just slightly off center. That's okay. We're almost done. We've just got some red tape to go through. Is that a joke? So finally we get to see what these shoes look like. So the tape worked pretty well, but I didn't tape it perfectly on the line in some spots. Luckily, the paint doesn't really stick to the rubber all that well, so I was able to scrape most of it off and then just touch up the rest of the mess. And now onto the last step. I'm using this
High gloss acrylic finisher for professional use, not for children.
It's a top coat, and I'm just gonna apply that. Oh, it's a little more watery than I expected. Why am I struggling with this?
Not for children.
Okay, ready to see the transformation? I kind of wish the shoes didn't have that black stripe around the sole. I feel like just a plain white sole would have given it a little bit of a cleaner look, but it doesn't bother me too bad. My voice just cracked. And I am really pleased with the overall look of these. Oh, they're in the shoe. Kind of looks like they're in like little race cars. Anyway, I do feel compelled to model these for you. Well, it's been fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!